It's like donk. Yeah. Yeah, it might be a crappie. Largemouth. Good one. Yeah. Crazy. Oh my God, he was way fatter than I thought. Holy moly. How about that? He's starting to look a little bit like me. Body by Orion. Hey, that thing's like 9 inches long and weighs 3.5 pounds. What a football. All right, OSP High Pitcher. It's a good way to start when you have no idea what's happening. That's a cold fish, early pre-spawn. So, all right, thank you, buddy. Wow. All right, sayonara. Shortest 3-pounder I've ever seen in my life. Crazy. That was crazy. Well, it bit it 4 times, literally. So it's so cold, every time I rolled it over, it'd go thunk, and I'd miss. So normally I would trailer hook it, but I was convinced it was a crappie. So, you know, persistence, Jeff. God, they're so cold. They bite good, then they just give up, Jeff. All right, so just made a little color switch. That's kind of my 1-2 punch right there. The High Pitcher to the SV3. So those 2 spinnerbaits got another just chunk. They're not real long, but they're chunky. Super, super cold. I'm gonna break down exactly what we're doing. So Jeff and I are fishing a lake that Jeff's never been to, and I haven't been here for 20 years, right? So we just had a whim. It might be producing, so we came out. It's early pre-spawn. It's 52.7 now. It's 51.9 an hour ago. So 52.7. So it's cold. The fish are freezing cold, but it's warm. It's sunny. So nature, no matter what the water temp, is going to call fish to do certain things. So even in the real cold, the fish are still going to have spawning on the mind. They're still going to come back and migrate into coves, into bays, into places where they know they're going to need to be set up once the water temp gets right. And so covering ground is the best way to be efficient when you don't know what's happening. So basically what we're doing is we're just running bank. No electronics, no live scope, just running bank, trying to get a bite here, a bite there, and then try to find areas where fish are migrating to, and then we can pick it apart. And the High Pitcher and SV3 is just a great 1-2 punch. I'll break down and show you why, but I'm gonna catch another one first. If we can get in the right area, I think we'll catch them today. I mean, if there's this many fish just on this random place that we just drove to. There we go. Oh man, they're so much heavier than I think they're gonna be. God, they're just fat. All right, okay. Another one. The red SV3 special for pre-spawn. God, dude. Just little studs, little footballs. So, super sick. Thank you, buddy. Nice, Jeff. That's what I like to see. All right, sayonara, big fella. It's funny, they hit it with authority and then they realize they're cold. It's kind of a crazy thing to be, you know, running bank in 50-degree water, but you know, water temp is only part of the equation, right? Understanding what season you're in, what the fish are being told by Mother Nature is probably more important than anything. More important than water temp or conditions. You know, if you pay attention to moon phase, time of the year, it'll tell you where at least you should start, right? And then gather information and then go. So let's see if we can stick one more, Jeff, and I'll do a little breakdown here. Nice. Oh, I've underestimated them all day, Jeff. Dude, do they get much fatter? They are just gorged from the winter. All right, I went back to the high pitcher. I'm going to break down this 1-2 punch for you guys so you can understand basically what I do, and hopefully it'll help you early in the season during pre-spawn. Look at that thing. That thing has been eating bait all winter and just snuck up and thought he got an easy one. Look at that thing. Body by Orion, Jeff. All right, see you later, buddy. God, look how fat that fish is. So dumb. All right, see you, dude. All right, Jeff. Shall we break this down really quick? The 1-2 spinnerbait pre-spawn punch. Let's do it. All right, guys, let me break this down really quick. And this is such a simple, easy 1-2 punch. If you guys are looking for a starting place in early season, in the early spring, pre-spawn, even as they move into spawn and through post-spawn, anytime they're bank related, and especially if you're in an area where maybe there's lots of brush, lots of trees, this is a great technique. Spinnerbait is just tough to beat. I mean, Jeff, wouldn't you say a spinnerbait is quintessential bass fishing?
Yeah, it's top 3 baits for it. I mean, it's almost the face of bass fishing.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, when I think of bass fishing, spinnerbait is probably the first thing that comes to mind. So this has been my 1-2 punch for a long time. Okay, this is the OSP High Pitcher Max and the Megabass SV3. These two spinnerbaits go everywhere with me. This is a great, just kind of, like I said, 1-2 punch. And this kind of color combination is really what I'm looking for. I'm usually looking for a shad pattern and then kind of a shock pattern. So, usually in the spring, I'll roll with this red. This is the red SV3. And then I add on this kind of crazy red and gold 4.2 inch Hazedong shad. Now, anytime the fish move up in early season, pre-spawn dynamite or those red patterns are always popular. And the reason for that is it's a kind of an anger color. It triggers them. And sometimes they're not looking to feed on something natural. They're just chilling, but all of a sudden this kind of craziness comes by and they smoke it. So this is just a great, that last one obviously was gorged, right? So he was looking to eat a shad. But some of those in-between fish, even though they were footballs, they weren't necessarily just like overflowing, right? They're still working on their body by Orion, right? So that's where the red comes into play. So I'll just bounce back and forth, right? And I'll just let the fish give me feedback. If I'm getting bit on white, stay on white, or chartreuse or red, right? But I'll just kind of bounce back and forth. And if I go a little bit and I haven't been bit on one, I just put it down and switch over. Sizes, 1/2 ounce and 3/4 is pretty much, where I live. If there's a 5/8 in the mix, great, okay? So I'll go to the heavier sizes either to fish it deeper or to fish it faster. But generally speaking, a 1/2 ounce is your easiest size. And both of these are 1/2 ounce. The high pitcher is a lighter wire, so it's going to give more vibration, right? It's going to have more flash, going to come off the bottom a little bit. And usually I just fish it like this. No trailer. You can of course add a trailer, but I usually like it just more minimalistic. The SV3 is a super heavy wire. So I usually throw it on 20-pound or 18-pound, and it'll stay down on the bottom. It still vibrates hard because of those blades. But again, just a great 1-2 punch. As far as gear goes, anytime I'm throwing just a straight 1/2 ounce spinnerbait, Megabass Destroyer P5 Dark Sleeper, Steez SV T-Wing, 16-pound Sunline Shooter. Pretty straightforward. It's kind of my go-to combo for everything. When I jump over to the heavier line, so I've got 20 pound on this, this is definitely a sleeper in the lineup. This is the Megabass Destroyer P5 BMG. It's one of my favorite spinnerbait rods, especially when I'm throwing a 3/4 ounce or 5/8, or in this case a 1/2 ounce, but on heavy line. I went to the 20 pound because there's a lot of areas that we have been fishing today that are full of brush. We haven't really been catching them in it. We've been catching them in random, open, kind of secondary points and places they could slip up. But the BMG is an unbelievable spinnerbait rod when you need to just beef up a little bit. So, you know, next time you guys find yourself in that pre-spawn corridor, and I know that could be different things for all of you guys. For us here in Arizona, it's usually like January, February. But for you guys, it might be, you know, April, May. It's really just a matter of, you know, being kind of out there before the main full moon, right? So for us, the main spawn full moon is probably the next one or even the next one after. It's kind of, you know, it's warm. We're able to kind of, you know, chill and sun gear, but the water's still cold, right? Started at 51, warms up a couple degrees in that 52, 53, and those fish will just slip up, and a spinnerbait is just a great way to figure out where they are, right? So after you've identified, okay, you know, we got bit 7 or 8 times down this 100-yard stretch, now maybe let's just slow down a little bit and throw a jig, throw a free rig, throw a jerk bait, throw something that maybe you can pick off more fish, or maybe just keep the trolling motor on high and go. Right, so there you go. If you're looking for the easiest way to catch a bass in pre-spawn, it's definitely a spinnerbait. I would just vary your retrieve. So today, I started by fishing kind of quick to see if there's any reaction. Once I got the first bite and realized how damn cold they were, I just slowed down. So then I just went to just barely ticking the bottom. So I want this thing, you know, spinning, and if there's a rock, I want it just kind of barely bouncing the bottom, because the fish, even though they're slipping shallow, they're related to the bottom. So give that a try. I hope it works. Enjoy your pre-spawn. Jeff, let's slow down a little bit now and pick it apart and see if we can have some more fun. So until next time, my friends, peace out.